Hello, 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 and welcome back to the last episode of the Candlelight vlog before the game is released. By the time you're watching this, the game will be up and available on Steam, so you should check it out. I wanted to get this video up today as a kind of end of one chapter, start of another, or perhaps end of a book, start of another. I want to reflect a little bit on my experience, talk about the future, and then also just give you some updates on what's happened since the last vlog. So let's start with what's happened since the last vlog. I've implemented a settings menu, so now music and sound can be controlled within the game. I've added cloud saves to the game, which was recommended by the Steam feedback when I went to submit my game. I did not add achievements. As I was thinking about implementing achievements, I thought back to this video that I saw recently talking about just getting things done and how the more we kind of procrastinate, the less likely we are to get things done. And that's kind of how I felt with if I had achievements and so on and so forth. And so the things that I've added since the last video have kind of been like the necessities to get the game across the line. I think one of the toughest things, and I talked about this in the last video, has been implementing the levels. I found that in a lot of my projects, there's so much work that goes into kind of building like a base layer of foundation for your game or your app. And it's only once that foundation is built, once you've set up, I don't know, things like a database or the user interface, or you've decided what the game mechanics are, that you can then really begin to actually build the game. And I put on all this work to build the mechanics and the UI and the sounds and things like that. And then it's like, all right, now you got to build a bunch of levels to make this game interesting. And that can be a bit daunting. And there is just so many resources out there and so much wisdom on what it takes to make a good puzzle game. And I tried to consume as much knowledge and content as I could before embarking on my own journey to make the levels within this game. And so hopefully that reflects through as you are playing. And one other thing I'll say is that getting user feedback has been incredibly difficult. I'm a member of a few different communities, and I've always had this problem of getting feedback is you'll mostly get crickets. You won't hear much. The people that do offer maybe never actually get around to giving the feedback, which is always rough. And I think this is maybe one of the downsides of developing and working on this alone, is that I didn't really have kind of co-founders or co-developers or co-team members to lean on. And so I think looking forward, if I were to implement another game, that is something that I would definitely do, is just have some other folks to lean on, especially in tough times. So I've already kind of segued into the quick look back, and so that was one thing I wanted to talk about. I'll say that the journey has been very rewarding. It started back in July 2024 with the Pirate Software Game Jam hosted by Pirate Software. I did not know anything about game development. I didn't know Godot or GDScript. I knew nothing about designing sprites or making sounds. Thanks to a friend, I didn't have to learn music, but maybe at some point I'll make some music of my own. And it's been a very rewarding journey. I've learned new ways of being a better software engineer, new ways to look at things that I hadn't thought of before, and so that's been pretty cool. Yeah, and so looking forward, as of right now, I've got 200 folks on my wish list, or I should say 172, 200 minus 28. 172 between when I first got on Steam. Wow, back August 29th. Just a month later, I was on Steam, and it took me another however many months to implement. It's kind of crazy. But looking forward, I think I might make some improvements to the game. I might add some more levels or another mode, but I think I kind of want a fresh start. If I am to develop another game, I want to do another game jam. I know there are a few coming up in the next few months, and I think it'd be nice to kind of have a fresh start, because I've learned just so much, and there's so much tech debt and bad patterns and stuff that I introduced into Candlelight that I'd love to just get a fresh start if I were to develop another game. And I probably got I have some apps and websites and things I want to tinker on, so I might go to them for the time being. But I'll I'll share some links down below so you can follow along on my journey if you'd like. If you haven't, toss a subscribe onto the YouTube channel. It'd be muchly appreciated. Otherwise, that is all for this vlog. Thank you so much, and until next time, happy making.